Gift is one that really is going to give the gift of, I think, accessibility, giving the gift of being able to participate in the conversations now. If you've noticed that you or a family member has started to kind of withdraw from the activities that the family is participating in, and you're wondering if something is wrong, it might just be that that person is experiencing mild to moderate hearing impairment. We've got from GoHearing the GoPrime hearing aids with accessories, and we're offering them at a price of $299.99. These do not require a prescription, and as I said, they are for mild to moderate hearing loss. It is a full comprehensive kit that gives you the left and right hearing aid, the charging case. You also get the accessories that you need to make sure that you're maintaining the hearing aids as they are supposed to be maintained. And typically this set with the dehumidifier and accessories would cost you $325 at retail. We have it for $299.99, and we also have special financing available for you if you shop with your QVC credit card. Today, you can shop with a major credit card and pay 5 installments of $60. But if you use your Q card for your purchase, you can extend the payments through a full 9 months with no additional financing charges if paid in full within that time frame. I want to invite our guest and expert, Brett Hamilton. And Brett, I put the hearing aid in my ear. Now, keep in mind, on the other side, I do have an inner ear IFB that I use to hear my producer and director. But on this side, I pop this in, and I cannot believe the amount of clarity that I got. And I actually can hear my producer on the floor whispering over like 5 feet away on the, literally, she's by the tree and I can hear what she's saying. It's incredible. You know, this is kind of like when I first realized that I needed to wear reading glasses, Brett. It was a gradual and very slow kind of progression. And then all of a sudden I put the readers on and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see. Well, it's the same with the hearing.
Yeah, I had that same moment years ago when I realized I needed readers, and you know, I was looking at the bottom of a laptop, and I'm trying to read the serial number, and as I did it, I was like, wait a second, I've never had a struggle with this before, and then all of a sudden I realized it's time for glasses. Well, I think that same kind of thing happens when it comes to our hearing.
Right.
It's gradual. It's gradual, and you mentioned that mild to moderate. I think what's really interesting about doing this today and during the holiday season, it's like, you know, I feel like we've been getting ready for Christmas since July, without exaggeration. And there has just been hundreds and hundreds of really cool, creative, and thoughtful gifts that you can choose from, whether it's from QVC or anywhere anywhere you might shop during the year or create or make or whatever. But imagine being able to give somebody their hearing back, to be able to give them the edge, be able to give them the ability to be able to get back what they didn't know they were missing. And I think that is probably the best and most thoughtful way of saying, okay, well, there's a lot of things I was going to give you this year, but how about everybody chips in? Because I get it. I mean, it's not a drop in the bucket. It's not it's not an impulse buy. But if you've got a parent or a grandparent, somebody that you normally give gifts to, boy, I mean, talk about really just shaking up their world in a good way and giving them back the ability to prevent what you mentioned at the top, Jane. We all have a family member, I think, hopefully not everybody, but the one that is a little more, I don't know, withdrawn. And at a family party, they just do a lot of nodding and a lot of smiling, and there's that concern level where you're like, is Uncle Fred okay? And then you're like, well, he just can't hear. And he's embarrassed, and he doesn't want to keep saying, can you say that again?
What did you say?
Can you say that again? Yeah, what'd you say?
Or watch the movie and having to say, no, wait, rewind it. What happened there? Say it again. That's exactly it, right?
Yeah, and when you get these home, everybody is going to adjust to them differently. Sometimes it's a day or two, it could be a week, whatever it might be. You really do need to wear them for your brain to wrap itself around the fact that, hey, now I have a different way of hearing not just the conversation we're having, but the television, in the movie theater, the music, the phone calls, all that stuff. So what is it going to sound like? Well, there's no way to know until you get them home. But this video that we're about to show you gives you some pretty common scenarios. It's going to a restaurant, it's watching TV and stuff like that. And you'll be able to kind of hear what your world might sound like now and then what it could sound like thanks to GoPrime. Check this out.
Great.
At the end of their long journey, our colony of penguin chicks have reached the ocean. They peer over the edge, waiting for the right moment, anticipating the dangers that await. Until finally, one of them jumps.
Hey, honey, do you hear that? It sounds like a pair of cardinals. Where are they? I hear them, but I don't see them. Oh, I think they're coming from... Looking for our beer specials?
So tonight, in addition to our usual lineup of IPAs, we've got some great
Craft on tap. There's a pale ale from one of our local
brewers. It's very crisp and citrusy, if that's what you're into.
And it's really that dramatic. Sandra, come on out here, because if you haven't heard these, you have got to hear what this sounds like. So do you have your IFB in your left or right?
I have it in my left.
Okay, perfect. So here's the right
Okay, let me
side.
try it.
Yeah, right's red, blue is black.
Yeah, try that on.
Okay, and just stick it right in
Put
here?
it in
Okay.
and let it count down. It lets
Okay.
you know that it's kind of powering on. Should
Okay,
be
it's doing
beeping.
that now.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then listen.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
Jane, I'm
And
so
I
glad
don't
you
know
brought
what's.
me out here.
Yes.
That is wild.
I am too. It is wild. I mean, it's wild
And I'm
how
not sure if
crisp-
you have
and
the
I
volume
had actually
set.
no idea.
we have it set for whatever the demo is, so we have
Okay.
not adjust the volume, and I know you can do that.
Yeah.
But the clarity and how much more I feel like I can hear is blowing me away, because I don't think I have a mild hearing
gonna
loss,
say,
but
yeah.
it really is making not just louder, it's making it
Yeah.
so it's crisp and more
I'm
defined.
like staring at you talking,
Yes.
hearing you the way I've never heard you before. And I'm fortunate in that I don't think that I have hearing loss.
Me
Nothing
either.
that I've ever
Right.
noticed.
Right.
But this is really wild.
Isn't that wild? I'm telling you, it's really incredible. And here's the thing, like you can
did
get
not
these
expect
home.
that.
You have an extended exchange and return time frame. So 45 days from the day you purchase and receive these, you have until to return them. So if you get them for someone and maybe it's not the right thing, or maybe their hearing loss has advanced further than the moderate level, then they need to go to a doctor and have their ears checked. But if this is a person that is newly realizing that the TV is blaring and I still can't hear, that this might be the actual device over the counter that can make a huge difference. I'm sorry, I just wanted to bring her in because I was so blown
No,
away.
I'm so glad you did.
yeah.
You know, and I have never ever put these in my ears before. And when you said put them in, I really thought, well, okay, of course I'll do anything for you,
Right.
but why? Because I don't really need them. But it's incredible. And you know, Brett, you and I have talked about this off camera. I know my grandmother, she had needed hearing aids, and it took us many, many years to get her to use hearing aids because of this whole
Yeah.
stigma. She didn't
right.
want to appear to have anything in her ears. And, you know, growing up, it was such a stigma to have hearing aids. It's so not the case, and fortunately, why
Yeah.
was that even ever a thing? I don't know. Young people, everybody's got something in their ears now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
that's it. Yeah, I mean,
it really has changed.
I was just going to say, yeah, between listening to music and talking on the phone and whoever makes your earbuds and stuff like that, I think that's gone by the wayside. And again,
Totally.
the stigma, I think, came from that traditional hearing aid that was this big honking piece of equipment that would protrude from the top of your ear or the back of your ear, and then you had that big kind of piece in there. You look like you're wearing something that you're listening to music to, and not or talking on the phone, and certainly not a hearing aid. One thing I want to show you real quick, or I know you want to talk about the offer and stuff like that. I think it's important for you to realize, as you look at this other camera here, there's no app with this.
Okay.
It's just one button. And it's so tiny that I'm using this little pointer to show you. That little black button right there does two things. It raises the volume and lowers the volume if you give it quick clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then work your way back down to turn it up and turn it down. If you hold down that button for about 3.5 seconds, you'll hear it beep, you'll hear it chime. And you can toggle through 3 different modes: normal mode, high mode, low mode. Normal is normal. High is if everything sounds a little too tinty. Low is if everything sounds a little bit too muffled, and you can clean that up. Now, here's the good news. When you get these set the way that you want, and remember, you've got separate volumes for left and right, and you've got the separate controls for left and right. Once you put them back in the case to charge them, it will remember the way that they were. Meaning, when you take them out in the morning or when the next time you put them on, you don't have to go through that
Reset
again.
them again,
But
right.
but the cool part too is that I mean, we sell hearing aids, and from the same company, the Lexi Bose hearing aids, that have the app and all that stuff, and they're extraordinary. They really are. But for those that just want it to be simple, that don't need all the fine tuning and stuff like that, this is a great way, because you just go like this. Oh, I need a little bit more volume, or it's a little too loud in here, so I can lower it back down again. And again, nobody's going to know you're wearing a hearing aid.
Yeah, you get back into the action. You know, you get to hear
Yep.
the stories that your family, as they start to get older, want to share around the holidays. When we come together, there's a lot of old, oh, remember that time? And, you know, when you see people receding and not joining in that conversation, or they're, you know, afraid to say, you know, I didn't hear you, could you say it again? Then this is the kind of gift that can be impactful for them. It didn't require a doctor's appointment. It did not require a special visit. And, you know, it's a considered purchase, but it's not over $1,000 like
Oh my
a
gosh.
regular prescription hearing aid could potentially cost you. So try it. You have the extended return, 45 days, E316303. This configuration, which includes the case, the power adapter, the domes, a volume adjuster tool, you get the wax guards, charging cable, dehumidifier, all of that would cost you $325 at retail. Sold separately, we have it for $299.99, and like I said, 5 easy pays or 9-month special financing available to you if you use your Q card. Over 100 orders placed.
This
Thank
is
you.
where I think that extended return policy, you know, having until January 31st really, really matters, because you have time. Well, I can't believe how clear
It's
everything
actually
sounds.
past that, because you get
Oh, right.
45
Excuse me.
days.
I
Yeah.
apologize. Right.
No worries.
But I was thinking about, like, if you were to even go and get hearing aids with a prescription, and I know that's a completely different level, and they make them custom and all of that, but once you buy them, you buy them. You can't say, I'd like to return these, please. And so this is a great opportunity to get something home that you can try if you don't like. We're talking a lot about gifting, but if you're watching right now and you feel like you're the one missing out in the action, you really owe it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because I bet you might have spent a lot more than $299 on everyone else this holiday season. Like, give yourself the gift of getting back in there.
Brett, the first time someone who has been suffering with mild to moderate hearing loss puts these in their ears, I would love to see their face, because I know my face, and I know I just saw yours when we put them in and experienced the increase in clarity for our surroundings. I mean, you know, everything just is crisper. Your voice is clearer. I can hear, without having to look at your lips, what you're saying. It's really pretty a powerful moment.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I was talking about how you need to wear them to let your brain kind of customize to the different sounds and the different ways you're going to hear those sounds and frequencies. But once you do adjust, and once you get used to wearing them, you may not need or find that you need them all the time. You might be somebody that just needs them because the TV is normally louder than it should be and now it won't have to be, or it's that crowded restaurant, or it's just the one-on-one conversation where you don't have to be on top of that person again, or they don't have to shout in order for you to be able to hear them. But yeah, it's mild to moderate versus severe or profound. I mean, if that's the case, then yes, you need to go see a doctor or an audiologist, whatever that might be, to get that diagnosed and cleaned up. But also keep in mind that these are not just amplifiers. In fact, they're not amplifiers. They're meant to be able to go and differentiate between all the frequencies. I don't know if we have time for the other video, the little feature video, but inside there they talk about bands and channels. And the more bands and channels a hearing aid has, the more it's able to differentiate between high, low, mid, all those different frequencies like on an equalizer. Instead of just making everything really loud, it cleans up the sound. So when you put these in, what it's doing is it's kind of analyzing the room. It's canceling some noise, it's cleaning up the different frequencies, and it's differentiating between the high-pitched sound of a plate crashing, for example, versus the low end of bass, you know, in a movie or a song or whatever. And all that tech you see in this video here, packed inside a footprint that's just so small.
Yeah.
We give you 3 different dome sizes. How do you know whether which one's right for you? Start with the medium, put them in your ear, shake your head. If they don't fall out and they feel comfortable, you're good to go. We've been talking about how discreet they are, and they really are. But there are those bands and channels that I was talking about to be able to really enhance that speech, whether you're in a crowded room, a noisy restaurant, or whether you're just sitting and having a conversation with somebody across the dinner table. All of that tech is done for you. It's one button. charge them when you go to bed at night. They're ready to rock in the morning, just like you would your cell phone.
And speaking of tech, if this is all a lot to take in, there is a number that will come with your order that you can call for 24/7 support to help you guide you or whoever you're giving them to through the process of getting set up with the hearing aids. So GoHearing GoPrime hearing aids, an accessory kit with everything that you see here except the holly berry.